Hello, you guys. Welcome to your Daily Pop of Positivity. I am just going to pull 3 cards and then we're just going to talk from there and what's going on. But I want to share this one facet that just popped up for me, and I'm not certain this is the perfect card to talk about right there. Yep, look at all these swords. I love this. And let's get a nice wands or something in there. The sun. This is going to trump this. Now let's talk about this for a minute because this is exactly what I had on my mind. Thank you, universe. This is saying, how about we use our energy to imagine all the things that can go right? Hooray! Instead of feeding into fear and what can go wrong, we are going to make the choice on how to invest our mental and emotional energy. We have the choice to imagine the best case scenarios for yourself and visualize greatness, visualize sun. And I just want to, while I'm talking about it, I just want to flip over some cards so we can look at them. Here we go, the High Priestess. You know, I have to do this every morning for myself. That's my favorite card right here too. I love this. I have to do this every morning for myself. I have to get here. Hey, what joy is going to be out there for me? What great social energy, sharing, caring, loving, laughter, all of that. There were like little tidbits throughout the day at Hagen's practice. For graduation, I could overhear the announcer saying, you guys be wise in your footwear choice, because every year someone takes a header in their flip-flops, platform shoes, stilettos, or stupid footwear choices. And I started laughing because there are ramps and there are fields they have to go through and all of that. So again, when we think optimistically, we know we have what it takes intuitively to be a whole myriad of things that are going to be helpful, diplomatic, loving, caring, calm. And how I'm able to do this for myself is by slowing the hell down and observing what is taking place, because that's where our emotional intelligence kicks in, and we can read people's faces, we can read the environment. Like I can tell people that are in a hurry or are a little checked out, their feet are facing away from you. They get jittery, they don't maintain eye contact. People oftentimes when they're not centered and grounded, they don't even hear what you're saying anyway. So I don't waste my breath. If somebody asks me something in my family, advice, and I know they have a second to get out the door, I'll just do one pop of whatever, but it's I'm not going to get into anything, because I know when somebody can maintain, focus on what you're saying. And that's another thing. When we stop entirely, and I've been working on this for myself too, because I love this. I pause. If somebody is speaking in my family, and no matter how jazzed I am about the topic and something that's going on, I slow down, I let them finish their thought. Because by interrupting somebody when they are trying to emote a thought, it kind of shuts them down and lets them, it kind of shows that, well, what I have to say is more important. And I know we get excited, and I have to be really careful of that when I'm talking to Joni, because we get so psyched about everything, nature and what's going on. And it's really hard sometimes if you're halfway through a sentence and somebody's like, I know, and blah, 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 right? It's all of a sudden you lose your thread of thinking. So this is saying, just slow down, take deep cleansing breaths so you're able to listen. It's not an easy thing. I know that, especially if we're super enthusiastic about a subject matter, our mind is thinking how much we love it, how much we want to talk about it, right? So we need to take a deep breath. And what I do when somebody's speaking is I say over and over in my head internally, focus. Are you listening? Would you be able to repeat this back to this person? Yesterday, I did this with Ian, and it was really interesting because I thought when we pay attention, conversations are so much better. He was talking just something silly about Jeremy Clarkson's new channel about growing things, and I thought, now I want to watch it, because I was listening to all the things he was excited about within the program and all the nuances. It was really fascinating. He was talking about how, when sheep have triplets, they cannot feed that third baby because they only have 2 working udders. So what they have to do is then, in order to fob that third baby off on an unsuspecting new mom that only has 1 what they do is they take the placenta and they put it on. They take the placenta from the single mother that has a single baby and puts it on the third triplet. And then, what's the other thing? They actually even hobble it a little bit if it's older, because the mom instinctively knows that a baby shouldn't be up walking the second it comes out. So they hobble it, they tie the legs together so the baby stays on the ground, and then the mother accepts it and nurses it. All this cool stuff. And part of the time what I used to do is my mind would be ticking about work and other things, and I would only half hear or not hear at all what he was saying. And now my head, and I thought, life is really good when you take a deep breath, you slow down and you start to listen, right? Because then we don't have this burden of thinking all the time too, because what happens if when we're listening and something is entertaining, we're entertained and it's restful, and then we don't always have to be thinking of what to say, what to do, and all of that. And that's what a good conversation is all about. And I love that. And this I love too, because I feel like right now we're planting the seeds for better behaviors within our family dynamics and our society and all of that. And this is something that takes place in summer, and I love to watch it. I like to watch mates like on the beach and they're chairs just discussing things, because the vibration is so high and everything mellows out. They aren't usually talking about things like that are stressful. They're talking about like vacation and where they want to go and things they love and creative endeavors and spirituality and all kinds of things, because they're in that kind of modality. I'm in the beach, I'm looking at water. I don't want to think about tension and taxes and all this stuff. I want to think about beauty and magic and art and all of this stuff. So the conversations are really cool, and oftentimes it's about children and family and travel and wonderful things. And I feel like now is really a time to slow down and listen to other people's dreams, listen to their opportunities and what they're excited about, and then that brings our vibration up. You know, we don't always have to be the person that we rely on to always, bring our vibration up. We can do it through our thought process and manifestation, but oftentimes if somebody's enthusiastic or excited about something, we get excited about it, right? And then we're thinking, oh yeah, I love these cards so much. I did a full flip through, and I'll probably show that tomorrow. And it's over on IG too. I did a flip through. But let's talk about these two for a second, because Nine of Wands is saying, let's not get on that way where we're carrying more than we need to. Nine of Wands is saying, let's have quick evaluation of what we're carrying that isn't ours. Are we answering emails and DMs and things that just bring in negative energy or more work for ourselves? Like, let's not carry that. I'm sorry that you're going through another emotional self-induced crisis, whoever you are, but I'm taking the day off from that. Oftentimes people do that, family members or whatever. They're like, let's do an emotional dump. Boom, they back up that truck to your front door and they dump it off. You don't have to pick it up, no thanks. Just leave it. For your peace of mind and your kind of sacred space, it's like, don't even go in your emails after a certain time if you don't want to, because oftentimes we're looking and expecting, let me track that package, see what's going on. Somebody will pop in there, inadvertently with some kind of thing. And then it's already in our mind, right? It's hard to get out. So let's not carry it. Let's have this. Let's feel grounded, solid, and we can push forward in all the endeavors and the things that we want to do that make us feel like we're capable, happy, and sound. Especially, I do this when it comes to work. I'll do kind of like work, relax. So I'll do, if I have a myriad of reads, I'll do a few reads. I'll be outside. It's relaxing anyway, but I know I have to rest my voice or whatever. So I'll go inside and I'll make a great iced coffee. I'll watch part of a fun show, or I'll make jewelry or paint or do something that I love that relaxes me, then go back. So I feel like it's work, reward. Because if we're just working and pushing and then it starts to feel like work or it feels heavy, oftentimes we don't give it a real heartfelt effort and like a 10 out of 10, right? Oftentimes, and it's they'll cut corners if they're tired. So give yourself the breaks you need to produce great work by resting in between and not feeling like you have to do anything. You don't have anything to prove. I used to do this too. I used to feel like when I first started on IG, like I had to photograph everything. Like, I'm here, look at this, and then at one point I remember it was like, I used to love to lay out like all the cards really brilliantly of new decks, and I would film them and photograph, and I'd spend hours doing that. And then I'd almost be aggravated because I felt like it was a weird kind of like inclination first when I woke up, like, oh, I have to post, I have to do all this. And now I'm just like, wait till the evening, wait till later, because it should be fun. Like, what did you experience during the day? What did you want to share? Not feel obliged to share. It's that kind of energy. Like when I feel grounded and solid and I've taken care of what I need to, then I'll have fun and I'll do it creatively and lightheartedly, never feel like it's an obligation. Because, when we give of our free time and our will and our artistry or whatever it is, when it comes from a place of space and joy, it's a much different type of activity, right? I've noticed that with certain readers, if they come on and they post the same time every day and they feel like it's an obligation, I can feel it in their voice, I can feel it in their energy, and that's like when people need to take a break. And I feel like I've never wanted to like take a whole week off, but I've needed like a day or two where I'm not just on phone and devices, because as other readers and you guys know, or anybody who works with computers, there's something in looking at screens that it shouldn't be for long periods of time. It's not good for your eyes, your brain. It can give you headaches. It can give you difficulty. So you need to step away from that a little bit and just get to this, be out in nature, do things that make you feel good and grounded and healthy and happy. And that's like my biggest wish for everybody this summer, that they just put down all the weight. They just put down all the need to produce or perform or go and do, and they just be for a while. I'm super fortunate that I have a backyard where I can just go sit and observe things, and that pulls me back down and grounds me out, because I'm fire, double fire, and I just, let me go here, let me go there, let me go that, and then all of a sudden I will literally be like in a store and I'll be dizzy, like I'll be going back into the crystal shop because I need to make something, and I'm like, oh, have you been eaten? How much water have you drank? And I'll get dizzy, and I'm like, why are you doing this? You have all day to do whatever, but you ever have those days where you feel like you just start cramming because it's a natural kind of like reflex of the old days where if we felt rushed and harried, and once we get on that carousel, we just make it go faster, and we don't need it to, because we are missing all of the cool stuff that is in the background, foreground, and messages that are trying to come in. So I just hope we all slow it all down, drink it all in, take it easy, and really have a nice time of reflection and be like, what is going to bring me joy and lightness and happiness and make me feel like I have all the options that I need, and progress quietly and observantly to where changes do need to be made, right? Like I knew the number one thing with me was like, girl, you have got to move more. You start your work day, and while I'm making jewelry, I'm obviously not doing aerobics and yoga. So if I'm making a lot of jewelry and doing a lot of reads, it's very dormant. And I thought, I feel stiffness in my knees and other areas. So I'm like, walk. So it is the first thing I did today. We have to commit to things that we know are going to give us a sense of well-being. And once we do that, it becomes like second nature, and then we feel better and better. And that's what we need to do for ourselves this summer. So you guys, that's your daily pop. I'm going to go upload.